In here with Train Like Fight, and this week we're doing a review over the CZ Scorpion.
Okay, everyone.
So with this review, we're actually just going to be pretty much just going over all the different things I've done to upgrade this Scorpion. These things are really cool just because they have a ton of upgrades out there for them. If you guys remember my last video, I went into how I was looking at this and an MP5, Chris Vector, all that good stuff. I ended up going with this guy just because it was a little cheaper and there are a lot of upgrade options out there for it. So I'm going to try to go through this really quickly because I have a ton of upgrades on this thing and I want to get back to the shooting. So the muzzle here is an HB Industries muzzle. Pretty nice, blows a little smoke up into your field of view, but not too bad overall. Does keep that muzzle down. The handguard here is a Midwest Industries handguard. Now you can't get these in flat dark earth, so I actually had to bring this guy over to Spider Arms, which is a local gun store to where I live, and they do some really good Cerakote work. And the guy that does their Cerakoting over there did a perfect job at matching the receiver and the handguard. I believe it's Magpul flat dark earth that he used, so highly recommend them if you are interested in getting any Cerakoting done. Now on the other side of the weapon here, we have an enhanced charging handle. Don't worry, the weapon is clear. This thing is from HB Industries, and I'll see if I can show you guys. So it does stick out a little bit longer than the stock charging handle. It's not super obnoxious like a lot of your upgraded charging handles out here, but it's a very good upgrade for these Scorpions just because the stock charging handle is really small. And then we have a Vortex Viper on here. This thing's a pretty cool little micro red dot. I'm going to do a future review on this thing, so I'm going to hold off on talking about this thing now. All you guys need to know is I highly recommend it. The magazine here, just a windowed CZ magazine. It is empty. The magazine release here is a Gearhead Works mag release, and the reason I opted for this over the HB Industries paddle release is because they actually put some nice serrations, I guess you could call it, or texturing, where you actually place your thumb. So just a little bit more attention to detail there. Just I really like Gearhead Works and their products they release. Then our safety here is a Gearhead Works reverse safety. And this thing's pretty cool just because it saves your knuckle from the stock safety. I think anyone who gets one of these, you gotta do something with the safety. I like this just because to activate the safety, you use your pointer finger to push down on it, and then to deactivate the safety, use your thumb to push down on it. So you're always pushing down. So it's this kind of weird movement between your pointer finger and thumb, but you'll get used to it. I like it a lot. The next part on here is a Skeletonized Trigger from HB Industries, more of an aesthetic upgrade. Internally, I actually have the HB Industries trigger pack, or it's just a lightning kit with they have like lighter springs and all that good stuff. And then I actually went in and I polished the trigger on my end, so I definitely brought down the trigger weight, but it's still not a great trigger pull, and I'll show you guys that right now. So again, the weapon is unloaded, so I'll just left-handed. So this thing actually has a really long trigger pull, and I'll show you. So I just start, keeps going, finally breaks. So there's no wall with this trigger. It's kind of weird. It's a very cheap trigger, I would say. Now there are some aftermarket trigger packs out there, but they're very expensive, so that's something maybe I'll do in the future, or upgrade on this thing in the future. But for now, it's pretty good. It's a lot better than it was. Then the grip here is an Apex tactical grip. It's got this cool skateboard tape stuff on it. Not a whole lot to talk about here. It's just better than the stock one. I will be getting the Magpul grip once that does come out, and I'll probably have to get that Cerakoted since they haven't offered it, or they're not offering it in black, to my knowledge. And then finally, we have an SB tactical brace, and these things are pretty cool. Just that they're not large and obnoxious like a lot of your pistol braces out there. This thing resembles kind of like the side folder MP5 stock, but it is a pistol brace. You have this strap right here. You can get your arm into it if you really want to. And then the really cool thing about this is it's a side folder, so you can shoot it in that side folder position. It does clear the ejection port, and you can still use your trigger. I don't shoot it in the folded configuration. I just fold it up when I'm transporting it, because I found that I can actually stuff this thing into my little range backpack and throw a couple boxes of ammo in, and that's all I need. I don't have to lug around any big gun cases or anything like that. So that's kind of the nice thing about having a side folder with this. And this thing will be leaving me hopefully in the near future, in the next 3 months, because I have submitted a Form 1 and I will be adding a stock to this thing. So once that does come back, I'll be sure to give you guys a review over whatever stock I end up going with. So that's pretty much everything I've done to the Scorpion. It's a lot of upgrades. This thing pretty much doesn't even resemble a stock CZ Scorpion, but that's kind of how I like it. I'm not a big fan of the stock look of the CZ Scorpion. So enough talking, let's get back to the shooting. Okay guys, before we get back to the shooting, I want to show you guys how to actually load one of these things. They're kind of cool, just the manual of arms for them, because you have a lot of different options on how you actually manipulate one of these weapons. So you can just straight charge it if you want to do that. You can hang it up like an MP5 and slap it down. You also have the option to flip the charging handle over to the other side if you want to do that. And you also have the option to use the bolt release on it. So this thing, one of the big advantages over say an MP5 is that you actually have a bolt release on it. So the bolt release isn't too bad. It's a little, with gloves it's easy, but without gloves it's kind of hard to get a good purchase on it if you got like a new magazine or anything like that in it. But overall, very, very easy to use weapon. So let's do some shooting. Good look at the recoil of one of these weapons too, because they are a blowback design, which means they're just using their bolt mass to let the weapon actually reciprocate. So they're not as, definitely not as light as like a Chris Vector or an MP5 or anything like that. The Chris Vector, I did test one of those out, and it's probably the king of low recoil 9mm subguns, but it's 9mm, so it really doesn't have any recoil as it is. Alright guys, to wrap things up, let's do a last 30 round mag dump. Doesn't get much better than that. That's pretty sweet. You can go through a lot of ammo really quickly with a little guy like this. So, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and remember, train like you fight.